This year particularly, I've seen a ramp up of underage drinking that we're not used to seeing.
Underage drinking and experimenting with drugs may seem like the popular thing to do on a college campus, but for some, it has a lifelong effect.
Rock bottom for me was my grandma had been diagnosed with lung cancer, and at this point my addiction was pretty serious, and so she was on a lot of medication, and I found myself going into her medicine cabinet and just taking what I pleased.
Jacob Birch started experimenting with prescription drugs as a sophomore in high school, but it wasn't until he got to college that he realized he was becoming addicted.
I went to school to play basketball, and I just realized that I was very empty, and I noticed that the pills were becoming a daily habit.
Underage drinking, marijuana, and other party drugs are current issues at Purdue. Here on a college campus, drugs and alcohol can be found virtually anywhere, and it's easy to get caught up in the social settings.
That was my weakness, was alcohol and drugs, and so when you're on a college campus, you can always find someone that's doing that.
There are people on or near campus that sell marijuana constantly. We run an entire narcotics division here where we use undercover people to buy marijuana, and then we go back and arrest dealers, and we have a full-time operation doing that. So that should give you some idea of the scope of the problem.
Honestly, from a young age, the party lifestyle kind of appealed to me, like the beer drinking.
College is a time for students to meet new people and find out who they are, and for some, it involves partying.
Honestly, when you're in that cycle, I think a lot of times you feel a lot of shame and guilt, but that just feeds the cycle even more, because you're just like, all right, I feel guilty and I feel shameful, so what am I going to do? I'm going to go to that one thing that gives me a release.
For those who get involved with and become addicted to drugs and alcohol, there's Trinity Mission, a local nonprofit organization willing to help anyone and everyone.
We've had all different backgrounds, income levels, locations, and so it's definitely not a poverty issue. It's not a location issue, really. We believe it's an issue of the heart, and that's the way we treat it.
In the past 3 years, Trinity Mission has been able to help 110 men overcome their addictions. And one way they do this is by teaching the men how to make good social connections.
It's important to make good connection socially, and that includes things like church or groups outside of just going to class or just people you run into on campus, but to make solid connection to things that are bigger than ourselves.
I've developed so many meaningful relationships since I've been here. The world paints this picture of you have to party, you have to drink beer when you go to college, and life's better without it. I mean, it really is.